March 13th, County SYLVA-Board Commissioner meeting. Like to welcome everyone. First thing is, kind of motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by like sign, the motion carries. Also entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by like sign, the motion carries. And then we have anyone signed up just for public comment. So signed up for public comment. On to reports. I don't have anything to report today. Mary?
No report tonight.
Brad?
It's also no report.
I just wanted to give my condolences to the Brown family. Say, John, their mom will be missed. Appreciate that. The other thing was, it's just, I noticed in Sylva over the winter, there's just been a lot of people gathered around Sylva. And even when it's cold, you see just people from all over bundled up, walking the streets. I just noticed because I live right downtown, it's hard to park anywhere. And I just really noticed that Sylva is growing and there's more to do in Sylva, look at and visit. And I'm really proud of that people come here to stay and shop. And a lot of credit goes to Nick Breedlove, Tiffany Henry, and Bernadette Peters. They did a good job on promoting the town. So that's all I have.
Sounds good. John?
Nothing to report tonight.
I would say that I would like to offer my condolences to the whole Brown family. That you feel free to. Moving on to our mayor or manager's report.
Good evening. Our next budget work session will be March the 27th following the meeting, and lunch will be provided. We have a vacancy in Public Works for a maintenance technician. An employee resigned during his probationary period. There's a vacancy on the planning board for the remainder of a term that ends December 31st, 2026. So let us know if you know anyone that would like an application. Bringing Up the Mountains vendor spaces are full, so please make sure you've got the festival on your calendar for Saturday, April 26th from 10 to 4. That's all I have tonight.
Okay. So that moves us to our next section, which is public hearings. So I'm going to kind of motion that we open the public hearing on zoning map amendment request for Sylva Church of God Heights support.
Make that motion.
Have a motion? Have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, the motion carries, and public hearing is now over. So is the first order of business for John to make a presentation, or do we allow folks to speak before or after? How do you want to do that thing?
We don't have anybody signed up to speak.
Nobody signed up to speak. Okay, good deal. Okay. No?
Good evening, Commissioners. For the audience, my name is John Jeleneski. I'm Senior Planner for Jackson County. The town has an interlocal agreement with the county planning department to administer the zoning ordinances, and that's why I am involved. The first request tonight is for the Sylva Church of God property owners. They are the property owners, current owners, and Heights Incorporated is the potential purchaser of the property, and they're the applicant. So property is 130 Sunrise Park, 131 Sunrise Park, PIN number 7641379289 and 7641471241. It's these two properties. This is the intersection 107, Business 23, just into Sunrise Park, existing Church of God, and there's a house property across the street from. The current zoning, property zoning is high density residential, and the ordinance section for the text amendment that is requested is Article 3, Procedures, Section 3.9B, Zoning and Map Amendments. The description of the request is that the applicant is requesting a map amendment that would designate the subject properties to general business, the general business district. This is the current zoning map, and you can see on it, it may be hard to make out, but this is all the high density district, Sunrise Park in this area. There's that intersection right there. And you can see that general business is on 107 and then back to Caldwell Street. Here's a blow up of that. So general business in red, high density district in orange around that. The background, the general business district is the largest district within Sylva's commercially zoned jurisdiction. General business district offers a broad range of permitted uses, use by rights, and special uses, which would be a special use permit that, if required, would have to come to this board for approval. Uses by right are lodging, retail, commercial, restaurants, public, civil, accessory dwellings, and recreational uses. Property improvements in this district are subject to development standards as set forth in the zoning ordinance, including building setbacks, landscaping, architectural standards, sidewalk construction, parking, stormwater treatment, etc. Subject properties are located on both sides of Sunrise Park Road, approximately 720 linear feet south of Highway 107 and the Sunrise Park intersection. The total land area for both properties is 7,200, so just under 3/4 of an acre. With the main church structure, formerly the Church of God, on the west side, right here. And the two accessory dwellings, there's an accessory dwelling back here, we'll talk about in a minute, and then accessory dwelling here across the street. Access to the property is from public right-of-way on Sunrise Park, which is secondary road 1355, this road right here. Ensley Street and Conley Street, so it does have two side roads. This property is adjacent to properties to the northeast that are in the general business district and are not located within a 100-year floodplain. This property is served by Tuckasegee Water and Sewer Authority for public utilities. The application response is that the applicant is requesting that the existing town of Sylva zoning map be amended to designate the subject properties, the total of 0.72 acres after a subdivision to the general business district. The Church of God, they do have a plat that they're going to subdivide the church building off of the large tract. So you can see the blue line that I have on this map. That would be the approximate subdivision line. There's an existing house here in the church building. And so the Church of God would be maintaining and keeping this property after the subdivision, and they want to convey this. They want to sell this property and the property across the street. The site finding or staff findings rather, the requested map amendment would not constitute spot zoning, as the properties to the northeast are zoned general business district. So spot zoning meaning that if all of this was high density district, and that if somebody wanted to come in here in a donut hole and make this a different zoning designation, that's kind of frowned upon in case law in North Carolina. You do have to have kind of the connection, the flow of property to property that would be zoned the same. In this case, they are attached to the general business district already. The town's adopted land use plan for 2040 establishes that this property will be in the future civic and cultural district, and encourage land uses for this future district include public and private green space, recreation, which is passive and active, forested land, buildings, structures, and or commercial uses that support or activate parks and recreation facilities, government and social service facilities, places of worship, and educational facilities. And so this would be the future land use map that the town has adopted. So that the color in blue is what that would be on that map. However, if the map amendment request is approved to general business district, these properties will be in the future community corridor district and encourage land uses for that district being mixed use buildings, institutional uses, walkable neighborhood, commercial, retail, office, personal services, large scale commercial business centers, community services, civic education services. In addition, this requested map amendment will create available property and opportunity in the current general business district that may be needed to serve the community during and after the proposed Highway 107 project. So this is the, you should have in your packet, the civil and cultural uses district. It explains that, what that would be in the future land use. And also the community corridor, where if the map amendment were approved, it would be in the community corridor, future land use, and you could see the makeup of what that would be in the future. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on this request. The applicant, Representative Paul Heckert, is here from Heights, and he can explain and tell you what the mission of Heights is and what the needs that they have currently. And then the property owner, representing Church of God, Tim Presley, is here as well. So if you have questions for them, they're available.
Thank you. They don't like to say anything?
Yeah, Heights is a youth mental health agency. We serve the 7 western counties. SYLVA is kind of our home base. We've been here for 20 years. We do plan to be here for another 40 years kind of thing. So this is going to be our new home for a healthy food box delivery program that we're doing for Medicaid recipients. And we believe we got 150 families right now. We think with this space, we can kind of bump that up to 800 families that we're serving every week. The upstairs we plan to use as a staff gathering space. We host community trainings for mental health workers, and probably a couple therapy offices up there, like youth mental health therapy offices. And our operations are typically 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So yeah, we're quiet tenants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to say anything? Good. This next thing is to have a motion to approve this change. Is that correct?
Close this public hearing.
Close it first. Okay. So entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
We have a motion. We have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, the lights out. Public hearing is now closed. So you want to vote on this now or go ahead and do the next one?
Do the next public hearing next.
I'll entertain a motion that we open the public hearing for a zoning map amendment request for Mitzi and Lauren Taylor.
Motion.
Okay, have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by like sign, and public hearing is now over. Is anyone here to speak on that matter? So John, you have a presentation on that as well?
Yeah.
Again, this is a zoning map amendment request. The applicant is Misty and Lauren Taylor. They're the property owners. The property is located at 28 and 42 Pathfinder Lane in Sylva. PIN numbers are 7641666143 and 7641667045. It is these two properties here. You can see the PIN numbers. They're highlighted in yellow. So Coke Creek intersection, Walter Ash Road, Pathfinder Lane, behind these commercial businesses up front. The current zoning of this property is high density residential. Here again, this is the current zoning map, orange being high density residential and the red being general business district. Again, the ordinance section for which this text amendment is requested is Article 3 Procedures, Section 3.9.b, Zoning and Map Amendments. The description of the request is that the applicant is requesting a map amendment that would designate the subject properties to general business. And for clarity, these properties right here, a year and a half ago were, it's not showing on this map, but they were amended to be in the general business district as well. Just wanted to get that out there. The background is the general business district is the largest district within SYLVA's commercially zoned jurisdiction. The general business district offers a broad range of permitted uses by right and special uses such as lodging, retail, commercial, restaurants, public, civil and recreational uses. Property improvements in this district are subject to development standards as set forth in the zoning ordinance, including building setbacks, landscaping, architectural standards, sidewalk, construction, parking, stormwater, etc. Subject properties are located on the south side of Pathfinder Lane and approximately 100 feet east of Walter Ash Road. So Walter Ash Road and then the properties right there. These properties total just under 3/4 of an acre, 0.7 acres in land area with one existing residential dwelling and a vacant property. Access to these properties are from the public right-of-way of Walter Ash Road and private access of Pathfinder Lane. These properties are adjacent to properties east and north that are in the general business district and are not located in the 100-year floodplain. These properties are or can be served by Tuckasegee Water and Sewer Authority for public utilities. The application response, the applicant is requesting that the existing town of SYLVA zoning map be amended to designate these two properties 0.7 acres total to the general business district. Staff findings are that the requested map amendment would not constitute spot zoning as the properties to the east and north are zoned general business. The town's adopted land use plan for 2040 establishes that these properties will be in the urban neighborhood district. Again, going back to the future land use plan, and those properties would be right here. They would be in the future urban neighborhood district. The encouraged land uses for this future district include primarily residential, small lot, single family, townhome residential, 2 and 3 and 4 family units and multifamily, civic and educational uses that support community residences, live work units, small scale in-home businesses, and small scale public open space. However, if the map amendment request is approved, these properties will be in the future community corridors district and with encouraged land uses for that district being mixed use buildings, institutional uses, walkable neighborhood, commercial, retail, office, personal services, large scale commercial, business centers, community services, and civic and educational services. In addition, this requested map amendment will create available property and opportunity in the general business district that may be needed to serve the community during and after the proposed Highway 107 improvement project. That's my report on that. I don't know if there's anybody here, property owners or the applicant is not here. That is the potential purchaser. However, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you.
The lots that were to the right of it on the map there, that would be south, I guess. Those were already rezoned. Is that what you said?
That's right.
Okay. It's just not showing.
Sure, that's correct, John. The two lots next to it.
There's like 2 lots here and then these right here. I'm not sure about this one, but this goes back to this other road here. So
Because I know Klepsell's property was rezoned.
yeah, he owns.
That's gonna leave a gap right in the middle there.
He purchased these properties where Soul Infusion was, and then where the old trailer park was behind that. He's purchased that, and that map amendment happened a year and a half ago.
So would you want to rezone that entire strip?
Well, the request is just for these two properties right here.
Because I own the two next to the right there, and they're still high density
Are there currently homes there?
apartments. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just curious.
I think all we can act on today is what's applied for, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, have to go to the zoning board.
Yeah.
I mean, the town can act on that, but not, that's another request for a future meeting, but
Right.
we're just looking at this application tonight.
If you wanted to request that change, you could. I don't think we can act on it along with this today.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's pretty much it, John.
That's it?
Recommendation from the planning board on both was to,
Yes, for both applications, planning board unanimously voted to approve the request.
Is this the one that has a street closure on it as well?
Similar area, but different request.
Different request. Okay, so is there anyone else that has anything else to say about it? All right, so I guess I entertain a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign. Public hearing is now closed. And now we move on to new business. And item number 7, in new business is entertain a motion that we approve the zoning map amendment request for the Silva Church of God and Iris Incorporated.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign. And with that being said, there's a statement and a motion that Brad needs to make in regard to that.
Yes, regarding the proposed zoning map amendment from high density residential to general business for parcels identified by PIN numbers 7641-37-9289 and 7641-47-1241. The Town of SYLVA-Board of Commissioners has found the zoning map amendment to parcels identified by PIN number 7641-37-9289 and 7641-47-1241 to be supported by the Town of Sylva 2040 Land Use Plan. We find the proposed amendment to be consistent with the plan for Sylva corridor specifications found on page 32 of the Town of Sylva 2040 Land Use Plan. More specifically, community corridor. The requested map amendment would not constitute spot zoning, as the subject properties will be in accordance with the town's adopted land use plan for 2040. This plan establishes that these properties will be in the future community corridor district. Encouraged land uses for this future district include mixed-use buildings, institutional usage, walkable neighborhood commercial, such as retail, office, and personal services, large-scale commercial, business centers, community services, and civic or educational services. We therefore consider the proposed zoning map amendment to be reasonable and in the public interest.
Okay. So we have a motion.
Yes, that's the motion.
Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, motion carries. Line item number 8 is, I would entertain a motion that we approve the zoning map amendment request for Misty Lawrence Taylor.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, and motion carries, and Brad has a motion and a statement about that as well.
Yes, regarding the proposed zoning map amendment from high density residential to general business for parcels identified by PIN numbers 7641 66 6143 and 7641 66 7045. The Town of Sylva Board of Commissioners has found the zoning map amendment to parcels identified by PIN number 7641 66 6143 and 7641 66 7045 to be supported by the Town of Sylva 2040 Land Use Plan. We find the proposed amendment to be consistent with the plan for Sylva corridor specifications found on page 32 of the Town of Sylva 2040 Land Use Plan. More specifically, community corridor. The requested map amendment would not constitute spot zoning, as the subject properties will be in accordance with the town's adopted land use plan for 2040. This plan establishes that these properties will be in the future community corridor district. Encouraged land uses for this future district include mixed-use buildings, institutional uses, walkable neighborhood commercial such as retail, office, and personal services, large-scale commercial, business centers, community services, and civic or educational services. We therefore consider the proposed zoning map amendment to be reasonable and in the public interest.
Have a motion? Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, the motion carries. All right, so moving on to line item number 9 is a resolution of intent to close a portion of an unnamed street off Walter H. Road. Can you explain that one to us, Paige?
Yes, so this request is from Dowdy Bradley that owns the house behind the former Solar Fusion property. That was rezoned last year to general business. Mr. Bradley would like to close the unopened portion of the unnamed street off of Walter Ash that goes in front of his house, behind UPS, and to the corner of the Enmark station. The street is reserved on paper, but the actual section of street doesn't exist. This is that red section in your agenda packet. UPS made this request to the board April 12th, 2018, and the board denied it. The time neighbors were opposed. Property owners were initially against the closure, have since sold their property or has been taken by DOT. So this resolution of intent only directs the town to advertise, notify the property owners, schedule the public hearing for May 8th to vote on the street closure.
You need a motion and vote on this as a resolution.
Yes.
So I entertain a motion that we have a resolution of intent to close this portion of this unnamed street off Walter H. Road.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by like sign, the motion carries. Line item number 10 is special event request for a private wedding alcohol service at Bridge Park.
The town received the application in the packet for, it's for a wedding at Bridge Park, October the 18th of this year. Lazy Hiker will provide the alcohol. This is coming before the board because the board needs to approve the event in order to allow alcohol to be consumed at Bridge Park during a special event.
Do we also need to approve the alcohol as a separate item or all together?
All together.
No problem with that. Everybody else okay?
We had weddings there before, and it sounds awesome. I just wasn't having seen one myself. Yeah, fun. Yeah, that was all.
Y'all good? Okay, I'm gonna find a motion that we approve that resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by like sign, and the motion carries. Last item on our agenda today, is applications for the board seat vacancy.
I'm going to read the application names that we received and pass the packets out to you. So just as a reminder, these are distributed tonight in open session. to review. They've been inspected by our town clerk for completeness. The candidate names will be read, but no comment should be made. And you all will vote by ballot on March the 27th. And the candidate that is chosen must be chosen by a simple majority. And they will fill the term until the November election. And that seat will be up for a 2-year term. So the candidate selected should be prepared to attend the March 27th budget work session after the meeting and then be sworn in April the 10th at 5:30. So the applications we received are Taylor Rochelle Horn Armstrong, Thomas Howard, Joseph Waldron, and Nathan Clapsaddle. So, any questions on the process?
I'll just clarify that. I asked a question a week ago about that process. It's not a clear majority. For example, if 3 people are running and 2 of them get 1 vote and the other one gets 2 votes, it's over. They don't have to wait to get a 3-vote majority.
What we do it by ballot?
Yeah.
Do it by ballot, and that way, the first one to get nominated is irrelevant, it's the ballot.
Right.
Say that again, Eric?
It'll be by ballot, so you'll have a ballot, we'll vote for 1, everybody will have 5. I mean, I'll have all 5 names on it, you'll have a ballot, you check the one you go on. If we end up with a 5-way tie, then
4-way tie. Somebody has to change their vote.
4. So then what we do, if you have a tie, we take the 2 highest or the 3 highest, whatever, and vote again until we have at least 3 votes with a majority rule on the ones.
So that's what I was asking Paige. You tell me that if, for example, we had 3 people and 2 of them got 1 vote apiece, the other person got 2 votes, that they have a majority then.
If someone got 2 votes, they would, and the other candidates got 1 vote, the 2 vote would win.
Yeah, because here we've got 4.
4 candidates. So if
Yeah, I keep thinking, I'm doing my math with 5 people. But it's gonna be 4.
4,
Right. So it's not a 3-vote majority, it's 2-vote majority.
Right.
Okay. So we're clear on it.
Unless it's 2-2.
Right.
You could,
Which is.
somebody has to change their vote. Okay. So is there anything else that needs to come before the board? And Brad Walbrook needs to give us a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion, we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Opposed, by like sign.